What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to go over everything new in Fortnite Chapter 4. So we got an entire new chapter today, which changes pretty much everything in the game, but I'm going to go over what I think is important for you guys to know. I'm sure I'll miss some minor things, but I'm going to go over what I think is important. If you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of Chapter 4 thus far. The first thing we're going to talk about is the map. We got an entirely new map, and I believe this is entirely new. I don't think there is any returning POIs or like structures on this map. I could be wrong about that, but from what I've seen, it's all new stuff. There's some POIs that seem similar to others, like the farm seems similar to past farm POIs, but it is new in the layout and how it's set up. So that's pretty cool. New map for everybody to explore and learn. I would just recommend trying to land at and explore as many POIs as possible. I feel like maybe this is just me, but when a new map comes out, the places I kind of like force myself to learn early on are just the places I land at for the entire chapter. So I definitely recommend trying to like learn as many different POIs as possible. That way there's just as many spots that you like and you can have more fun playing the map. The next thing we're going to talk about is the augment system. So these are basically perks or little bonuses that you get over time. You may have to bind this or like set it up in your keybinds. I had no ability to use them at first. The bind for it is squad requests / augment select if you're going into your keybinds. But what this does is after a certain amount of time in game, I don't think your like how you perform in the match impacts it, but that would be nice, I think. But after a certain amount of time, you get to pick a bonus, and you get up to 4 a game that are just given to you throughout the course of the game. And these bonuses kind of range from something as simple as like reloading weapons that use light ammo faster, to something like getting an explosive bow or a shockwave bow, to finding chug splashes in every like chest that you open. Some of the bonuses are insane, some of them are really minor. I'll probably make a video in the future making like a tier list of these augments, but this is definitely something that changes the way the game can be played, and it definitely can kind of like play into strategy. Like there's lots of them that kind of play into different types of weapons, like medium ammo using weapons or light ammo using weapons, and you could set up your inventory around the augments you get, and there's some that are just super good. So that is interesting. Like I said, I think it would be really cool if you got it based on how much like damage you did to players or something like that. Like you kind of just got it over time, but the more damage you did to people, the faster you would get them. That's how perks work in the new Call of Duty, from my understanding. Like as you get XP or score in the match, you get the perks faster. And that's how ultimates work in a lot of games as well, like Overwatch, for example. So I feel like rewarding, you know, fighting other players by making you get your augments faster would be interesting. Maybe that's how it works already and I'm just not aware of that. But if it doesn't work like that, I would like to see that. We got dirt bikes finally in this update. So dirt bikes have been leaked for a really long time in Fortnite. We thought they were coming all the way in Chapter 2 Season 3, which was like the summer season. They're finally here. They're pretty loud, and you ride them, and you can actually shoot from the driver's seat, which is pretty cool. And I believe you can even heal while driving. So if you're in a pinch in the storm, this could be really helpful. And you could just fight people from the driver's seat of the bike, similar to what you could do while riding wildlife. So it is really nice. And these are all over the map. There still are cars on the map. I would almost prefer if they vaulted cars for these dirt bikes. That way, you know, there would be more risk reward to the vehicles and you couldn't just get in it and decide a fight isn't happening. But the cars still exist, but these dirt bikes are here and they are nice to have in the game. They are really loud though. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the noise for it is just like super distinct or something. And you can get like fried off the back of it. So you got to be careful. For mobility this season, we got the shockwave hammer, the shockwave bow, impulses, and I believe some NPCs sell launch pads. So the shockwave hammer is really interesting. You hold your aim down sights button to kind of travel across the map, and you can chain this. You can just keep it held and your character will keep traveling around the map. And then there's also a melee attack with it that you get by hitting your shoot button. I pretty much never used the melee attack, and I was exclusively using it just to get around the map quicker. As mobility, I think this is really interesting, and it does recharge over time. The shockwave bow is also nice, and you can get this from one of your augments. But the thing is, you have to fully pull the bow back and then shoot it where you would want the shockwave. And this could be really helpful, but I feel like one of the instances where mobility is most helpful is in situations that like kind of catch you off guard or you just get unfavorable timing for whatever reason. And if you get bad timing and you need to get out of an area and then you need to like full pull the bow, I feel like you just don't have enough time to react. So I think the shockwave hammer is the ideal mobility this season over the shockwave bow. For shotguns, we have the Thunder shotgun, which is basically this season's pump shotgun, and we have the Maven auto shotgun, which is this season's auto shotgun. This pump hits hard. I believe the white one hits for 170. For a comparison, the Striker pump, when it first came out, the gold one hit for 175. So launch chapter 3, the gold shotgun, the gold pump hit for 175. This season, the white pump hits for 170 max. I think this Thunder shotgun is the better of the two shotguns. The Maven auto shotgun I just never got good damage with for whatever reason when I was using it. And I feel like this is how Fortnite should be. I think the harder hitting or the pump shotgun should always be the better choice. And then the main benefit of using like the auto shotgun is that it's just easier to use or more forgiving. But it was kind of out of whack entirely for chapter 3 in my opinion. And also, the shotguns feel like they have way less aim assist to me this season. It's just, I don't know. They felt weird, but maybe I'll get used to it over time or Epic will change it. For assault rifles, we have the regular assault rifle or the SCAR, and then we have the red eye rifle, which is a red dot assault rifle, which has a really slow fire rate. So when you aim down sights with this one, it goes into first person mode like the MK7 or the Striker burst rifle did, but it has a really, really low fire rate. This gun also has no aim assist right now for controller players. And then the SCAR is nice to have back in the game. People have wanted this for like all of chapter 3, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of realizing that it isn't quite as good as the hammer AR is. The SCAR is much more inconvenient to use. It has much more bloom than the hammer AR did, so you have to play around that. With the hammer AR, you could pretty much just always full spray it. And then if someone was super far away, maybe you tap fire, but the ranges at which you have to like burst with the SCAR or tap fire with the SCAR are different than the hammer, so it takes some getting used to, and I feel like it requires more intent out of the user than what the hammer AR did. Like I said, I would just full spray the hammer all the time and it was fine pretty much. But with the SCAR, there's going to be ranges where you need to tap fire, and those ranges are probably going to be sooner than that of the hammer. And when you're going to, you're setting up to shoot at somebody, you want to wait for first shot accuracy. The hammer was the same way, but since the max bloom of the SCAR is more than that of the hammer, it's more detrimental if you don't wait for that first shot accuracy. For the SMGs, we have the twin mag SMG and the machine pistol, or the machine SMG, I think it's called now. Both are fine. I don't really notice too much of a difference. I mean, I guess I prefer the twin mag SMG, but they both do basically the same thing, and then they're both fine. And then for the pistol this season, I think it's called the tactical pistol, and it's a full auto pistol. It hits for like decent, like high 40s or 50 to the head, I think, and it is fully automatic. So we have two SMGs and the pistol, which is basically an SMG. They're all okay. They all do basically the same thing. Like I said, I don't like they're all good, I feel like, as the SMGs. They're all like really, really solid. None of them are terrible, especially compared to last season's SMGs. I think these seasons are much more effective, but you know, they're SMGs. You hold the trigger, you throw out damage. It is what it is. We got the new Excalibur rifle, I guess, which is a projectile rifle that when you shoot it, it shoots like a sword into somebody and that sword explodes. I don't know how much damage it does since I only used the mythic one, but the mythic one did 75 damage on impact and then 75 damage when it exploded as well, which was pretty crazy. And this was really good against cars because if you hit it on the right spot on the car, it would blow up and do damage to the people inside of it. And then also it just did a lot of damage to the cars. You can also use this to remove people's cover and destroy bushes as well. So this Excalibur weapon is really nice. We got the Slap Juice, which is basically a new energy drink item, which heals 15 white or blue, depending on what you need, similar to how Chug Splashes were, where like, you know, it fills your white first and then you get shield. And then it also gives you unlimited stamina for a period of time after using it. It's really good. And there's also Slap Juice barrels across the map that you can break to get that effect. The snipers have been vaulted, and then this season we have the bows back, which kind of fill the void of the snipers. A lot of people don't like them because they're much more inconvenient to use. And then we also have the DMR back from last chapter. So the bows, like I said, a lot of people don't like it because the fire rate is much slower, especially if you compare the fire rate of the bow to that of the Hunter Bolt Sniper last season. It's just like a night and day difference to shoot the arrow, wait for the arrow to hit the target, or just shoot the arrow and then pull another one, get max pull, and then, you know, shoot it. I feel like the bows also have much more like drop and travel time than the snipers do. And I feel like that's it. They're slower and they have more drop, basically. They are inconvenient to use, but I feel like they're a little more balanced. And then they also have weird effects. We have the shockwave bow, which shoots a shockwave, essentially. We have the stink bow, which you shoot it, and then it shoots a cloud of gas, which hits for 5, I believe. The stink grenades hit for 5, at least, in the area around it. And then there's the fire bow as well, which lights things on fire. And then I think the explosive bow is in the game. I didn't see it when I was playing it all today, but there was an explosive bow in the past which would blow up on impact. But those bows and the DMR are like the sniper style weapons for this season. The RPG is back in the game, but it's only in purple and gold rarities, I believe, which is nice. It's really overpowered, but at the same time, it's a little less frequent because it's only purple and gold than something like the goo gun would have been last season. What I would like is for them to go back to the previous way RPGs were. In Chapter 1, Season 7, they made it to where RPGs could only be obtained from supply drops, and I feel like that was a lot more balanced than just finding one off a chest. It's really annoying to deal with it off spawn, or at any point in the game, but it just sucks off spawn to like get a pistol, and then the person next to you gets a rocket and shoots it at the ground and kills both of you, or something along those lines, you know? There's a new auto mantle while sprinting. So if you're sprinting and then you approach kind of like, you know, waist high objects, you will mantle over it automatically. This can be nice, but it's also really inconvenient when you accidentally mantle off of like a balcony or something because you were sprinting on it. So be careful when doing that. Footsteps are much louder this season. They changed the way the audio works, and the footsteps are louder and they're different. It's definitely going to take some getting used to. I feel like a lot of like using audio to your advantage in game is knowing kind of what certain sounds mean and like how far or like above or below somebody is compared to you based on the sounds. And since they changed footstep audio, it takes some getting used to, but it is much louder, and I think it probably will be preferred by most players once we're used to it. But it just, right now it's crazy. It sounds like people are stomping everywhere. Like it sounds like everybody is like aggressively walking, and even crouch walking players you can still hear like decently well. Like I had a few times today where I heard somebody crouch walking, and I was genuinely surprised that they were crouched because they were so loud. And then also, I was told that visual audio was nerfed and it's not as good this season. This isn't a setting I use just because I find it overwhelming having all of that on my screen. And I feel like it's ugly on like streams and videos as well. But one of my friends who uses it and has used it for a long time and plays a bunch says that visuals aren't as good this season. So if you are using visual audio, you can still use it, but you might want to, you know, make a concerted effort to start like kind of learning the sounds and the footsteps. Also the chests sound weird. But that is going to be it for today's video. That is everything you need to know in Fortnite Chapter 4. Let me know what you think of this chapter down in the comments below, and if you think I missed anything significant, comment that down below as well. I think this chapter is really solid. I think it's really hard to judge early on because, like I talked about in the video, some weapons don't have aim assist, or aim assist feels really weird with them, and just in general, learning a new map and loot pool, I feel like our opinions will change over the course of the next few days. And I feel like whenever there's a new chapter or season, there's always some unique players playing the game in interesting ways. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's not disappointing, I could say that at least, and I think I will be enjoying it more as the days go on and as we learn more about it. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe. Remember to use code EvolveJake in the item shop, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.